These were all the vehicles added on day one of the Chop Shop GTA update. And these are all the vehicles that are going to be added as part of the drip feed, with some extras that we'll see towards the end of the video. Let's take a look at everything all together in this video. I'll show you the prices, when they're going to release, and everything that you need to know. This video is supported by my wonderful channel members here on YouTube. Click the join button below the video to directly support the channel and find out all the perks you can get by doing so, including early car testing info and having your name listed at the end of each video. So, the Chop Shop update, it is a big one. There is a lot of stuff in this DLC, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to cover, a lot of cars to test, even just on day one. I will be getting all the testing out as much as I can. As you can see, we've got all sorts of new vehicles, both drip feed and vehicles that are available day one. I'm going to get the testing out as quickly as I can after this video. It's actually a really good DLC, to be honest. I'm going to focus on the regular cars first in terms of the testing, and then I'll start focusing on various, extra videos that I can cover about a lot of the different changes that we've seen in this DLC. If you want some early testing information, to get the information as soon as I have the lap times and the top speeds, you can always support me on Patreon or become a YouTube member, and you'll get the lap times and top speeds in text form, but it doesn't affect how long the video is going to be to get out to everybody else. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, just make sure you are, because there's going to be a lot to focus on in this DLC. So, let's talk about the cars that are released on day one. First of all, we'll quickly go through them. We've got 3 vehicles on Warstock. Now, the Riot is the same Riot that we used to, that you can see from day one. It's been a 2013 car. The same is true of the Unmarked Cruiser. Those are both 2013 vehicles. So the first 3 cars are on Warstock cash and carry. The Riot will set you back 4.8 million, but there's a trade price of 3.6 million. The Unmarked Cruiser is 3.9 million to buy, but it's got a trade price of 2.9 million. And the Stania LE Cruiser will set you back 4.7 million with a trade price of 3.5 million. Now, you've actually got to do various things to unlock these 3 vehicles as well as part of the new missions. You can't actually just buy them straight off. And the trade prices are also unlocked via the various missions that show up when you hover over them to buy them. And they're all, I think that, I'm not sure about the Riot, but certainly the 2 police vehicles, they are upgradable in your own garages in-game. So they're not upgradable in Los Santos Customs, but any garages you own, like the Arena for example, you can upgrade these vehicles, and they've got different liveries, different modifications on them. Like I said, the Riot and the Unmarked Cruiser are just 2013 vehicles from when the game first came out. They've been in the game since then. Now we can purchase them. But the Stania LE Cruiser is brand new, a new model, probably GTA 6, as you'll see from the theme. A lot of the vehicles here are probably GTA 6 cars that we're getting backported. So yeah, those are the 3 from Warstock Cash and Carry that are available day one. Day one for Legendary Motorsport is only the Turismo Omaggio. This is the only one. It's going to set you back 2.8 million to buy, but it does also have Imani tech, if that's something that interests you. No HSW upgrade, but it does seem to be very fast, possibly on the pace of the Emirates, which I will obviously test and let you know. And it's the only supercar in this DLC. In fact, it's the only super or sports car. No sports cars whatsoever in this DLC. When it comes to Southern San Andreas for the vehicles for day one, we've got 3 muscle cars. First up with the Vigero ZX convertible, which is going to cost you $2.3 million, but it also has an HSW upgrade. It's basically like a Vigero ZX, the normal version, but a convertible roof. The Dominator GT also has a convertible roof, and it's 1 letter away from a Dominator GTT, but that's the naming scheme of things these days. And then that'll set you back 2.2 million to buy that one. And then the Impaler LX, which is one of 2 new Impaler variants, that's also in the muscle class, and that'll set you back 1.5 million to buy. But yeah, only the Vigero ZX has the HSW upgrade, and it looks, for all intents and purposes, pretty much the same as the regular Vigero ZX in terms of pace and performance. It just has a convertible roof. The other vehicles probably aren't going to do much in muscle car races because the Vigero ZX HSW exists. Moving on to the FR36. This is in the coupes class, set you back 1.6 million. This is another new coupe is always nice to have. We'll see how it performs. Really don't know what to make of it. Hopefully it's sort of decently paced, but don't know. We'll find out in the testing videos. Then we've got the Asterope GZ, so a new version of the Asterope. This is only 450k, so this is one of the cheaper vehicles that is available from this DLC. It's in the sedans class, and yeah, I can't imagine it being on Reinhardt pace, but we'll see. And the final two cars that are available day one that are new vehicles are both SUVs. First up is the Vivanite. This is going to cost you 1.6 million for this one, but it is only the second car to have an HSW upgrade in the entire DLC. There's only two cars that have HSW upgrades: the Vigero ZX convertible, as we saw, and this crazy minivan going super speed with the HSW upgrade. We'll see how it performs. And then the Illusion, finally. This is also on Legendary Motorsport, but I wanted to keep the two SUVs together. The Illusion also has Imani tech, just like the Turismo or Maggio did. So both of the new SUVs have like little extras in a way, but the Illusion's probably not going to do anything pace-wise. Now, we also have new vehicles that are represented by this Drift Tampa with the Drift class of vehicles, basically. So the drift cars, there's new drift races, and it's all about the winner of the drift race is the maximum number of points that you get in terms of how well you do drifts and things like that. It's quite impressive that they've added all this in. But there's certain vehicles, there's 8 vehicles that have been made available into drift cars. Now, the best way that I can describe this is it's like HSW upgrades, but the drift version. Instead of making these cars super fast in a straight line, it makes them basically have drift handling like what you see on Project Homecoming from the drift cars, from the random races and all that kind of stuff. So you can add the drift upgrade modification onto your own cars that this is available on for free roam, but you don't need to. It doesn't actually impact anything, because in the races, whether it's drift races or drift class races, but the regular races, using the stock versions give exactly the same performance as custom versions with the drift modification on. So there's no real need to have these on. The 8 cars that can access these drift modifications are the Drift Tampa, which is finally nice to have a Drift Tampa that can actually drift, the Drift Yosemite, the Euros, the new FR36, which we just saw, the Futo GTX, the Jester RR, the Remus, and the ZR350. Those are the 8 cars that can get these drift modifications and that you can use in drift races. When you apply the drift modifications as well, all performance upgrades are removed, so turbo, transmission, engine, spoiler, low grip tyres if you have those on, all of that is removed. Basically, you turn it into a drift modification version of that vehicle. It has the way that it handles, it has its performance, and that is just the standard based on it's the same stock as it is having your own version. So yeah, 8 vehicles that are pre-existing vehicles. Well, one of them's new, I suppose, but they have drift versions of them for these drift races. And then we've got 2 tow trucks as well. Now these are both new models, so they're exactly the same as the original tow truck in terms of the model shape, but they're obviously new versions specifically for the new business and the missions and the stuff that you can do with that. Now, the clean version of the tow truck is a 500k extra in terms of the amount that you spend on it as part of the business. It's 1.1 million for the clean version, it's about 650,000 for the beta version, and by all accounts the clean version is actually faster as well. This is probably something that I'll test in the future. They are both in the utility vehicles class, but they're not available to be used in races probably. And you also can't use the tow truck functionality in free mode, and that's why the original tow truck isn't available in free mode, because we used to have crazy bugs back in the day where you could link a load of tow trucks together and completely break the game. But they have some use in the the new missions and the new salvage yard business. So yeah, they've added 2 new models specifically for that, but the models themselves are the same as the original tow truck, but they've got slightly different performances basically. So that's pretty much everything that's day 1, and that's already a lot. 2 new tow trucks, drift versions of cars, 8 of them, and all these you know, new cars that we've had, including police vehicles, new and old, kind of crazy. In addition to that, there's been a whole host of new sort of like trailers and things, a new train model. It's basically a load of stuff that's just used in these new missions. You're never going to see it outside of that. You're never going to be able to access it in general. But now we come on to the drip feed vehicles, and there's a fair few of these as well. Now, not too many, I guess you could say, regular vehicles, but as is the case with the drip feed, as a roundup of how the drip feed works, we're going to basically get one of these, not necessarily each week. It used to be each week, but certainly not anymore. Maybe once a month if we're lucky. But they're going to stretch out the release of these vehicles all the way until July, basically, until the next DLC. Now, this baller that we're going to go talk about is the only one that's available on Legendary Motorsport. The next four of them are all on Southern San Andreas Super Autos, and then the next four, the fourth of which you can't actually see because it's hiding, but we'll see it. It's very special. Those are available on Warstock. So this is the release order within each website. So we're not going to get this Cavalcade XL before we get this Dorado. That's, you know, we're going to get the Dorado first, then we're going to get the Cavalcade XL, then we're going to get this Impaler SZ. That's the order that they're going to be released on Southern San Andreas, but they can release them between each website in different orders. So we might get the Durango first, then we get the Baller, then we get the Cavalcade, then we get this Boxville, then we come back to the Impaler. You know, it can mix it up like that, but ultimately this is the order within each website, and we're going to be talking about, I'll tell you what the price that they're going to cost and all that kind of stuff. So Legendary Motorsport, first of all, the Baller STD. And you know, it's exactly like a baller but with an extra D on the end, and of course, you know, the letter that they chose was D to make it the STD. This is going to set you back $1.7 million. It is of course in the SUVs class. You'll probably notice, and I think some of these vehicles have featured in the GTA 6 trailer, and that's probably what we're getting in GTA Online these days. GTA 6 cars. But yeah, this is the Baller STD, ST-D technically, but you know, you're going to say it STD, and that's the only vehicle on Legendary Motorsport. I don't actually know if it's going to have Imani tech like the other two Legendary Motorsport vehicles from this DLC, but yeah, that's the only one. No more supercars apart from the Turismo that we saw. No sports cars. It's a very much an SUVs DLC, this one, because the next two vehicles that are from the first two for Southern San Andreas Super Autos are also SUVs. First up, the Dorado. Like I said, the SUVs class. Going to set you back $1.4 million for this one. No HSW upgrades on any of these vehicles, by the way, so most of them are probably not going to be competitive for any class that has an HSW at the top, like SUVs with the Astron Custom. But yeah, the Dorado SUVs, $1.4 million. Followed by the Cavalcade XL. Again, SUVs class, gonna set you back $1.7 million for this one. And this is again another vehicle that just feels like it's straight out of GTA 6. It'll be some cartel's SUV or something like that. Pretty big bulky vehicle. They're all these similar prices these days with these cars, you know, 1.5 to 2 million for an SUV. That's GTA Online these days. Next up on Southern San Andreas is the Impaler SZ. This will be in the Sedans class, which is obviously different to what we saw earlier with the Impaler, what's it called? Impaler LX. We saw the Impaler LX that's available day one. That's in the muscle class. This is the Impaler SZ in the Sedans class. So that's going to cost you 1.3 million for this one. To what extent the customization, hopefully there'll be decent customization on these vehicles and you're at least getting something for your money in terms of that, but you know, doubtful that it's going to do anything in the Sedans class for lap time, but we'll have to wait and see. As always with the drip feed vehicles, I test them on the day that they release. When they release, I'll do the lap time and top speed tests. There'll be a video when they release as well, so you know, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you are. And then finally on Southern San Andreas, we've got the Terminus, the only vehicle in the off-road class. 1.9 million, this will set you back. Again, hopefully this has got some decent customization. No HSW upgrade though, so it's very unlikely that it's going to be able to do anything beating the HSW monstrosity that is currently top of the off-road class. But you know, it looks like a fun little vehicle. Again, sort of very Miami centric, straight out of GTA 6 maybe. But yeah, those are the those are the, let's say, normal vehicles in the drip feed for the Chop Shop DLC. 1 on Legendary Motorsport, 4 on Southern San Andreas, and then we've got a few extras and a few special ones as well, starting with those that are on Warstock. So first up on Warstock is going to be a new version of the Boxville. This is the Boxville LSDS version, and we are going to be able to buy it for $500,000. There's going to be a trade price of $350,000 for it. The LSDS bit on the side isn't showing on this version of it, but yeah, I don't know necessarily how you're going to be able to store this. Whether it'll be a Pegasus vehicle, probably. But there's a fair few Boxvilles and Bensons in the game already. They're essentially just new models for the missions, once again, like the tow trucks were. It's just that they're also going to be making these available to buy, I suppose. So yeah, that's 500k for the Boxville. Now the Park Ranger is an interesting one. The Park Ranger is technically next up in the order for Warstock, but there's no price associated with it. Now the Park Ranger is a 2013 model, just like we saw with the Riot earlier. This isn't a new model. It's exactly the same Park Ranger that, you know, we are all used to from back in 2013, and it's been in the game since then. But for some reason, it looks like we're going to potentially get access to it. Now, there are rumors that there is an animal photo shoot sort of thing going to happen in the drip feed. Obviously, the animals have been added to free roam in GTA Online on the PS5 and the Series X and S. So maybe it's going to be like a giveaway for that. When if you photograph all the animals in free roam, you'll get the Park Ranger as a gift or something like that. We will see. I don't know what that means for the Park Ranger's availability on PC. Maybe not at all, and it might not be released at all. You know, it's difficult to say at this early stage, but you know, that is what is theoretically going to be next, and maybe it will release with this animal photo shoot mode and be a giveaway or something like that. But like I said, there's no price for it, so we won't be able to buy it. We might just be able to unlock it. Next up is the Benson, the commercial vehicles class for all of the Bensons. I mean, there's multiple of them now. This is a Cluck and Bell specific version of the Benson. Again, probably mission related with the new salvage yard missions. You will be able to buy it though for $700,000. The trade price for this will be $500,000. Again, what you can do with it, I don't know. Will it just be a Pegasus vehicle? We'll just have to wait and see. But then probably the most interesting vehicle that's going to be added to Warstock, which is hiding behind here, is this beauty. The Gauntlet Interceptor. And again, you might have seen something similar to this in the GTA 6 trailer. It's a police version of the Gauntlet. Now, this has multiple customization options. It has multiple livery options. This is just one of them that we're seeing on here. You can see all the bells and whistles that are on there that you can customize, you can put on. You don't have to have the engine in the middle, for example. And it's going to set you back $5.4 million. So if you thought the police cars that are released on day one are expensive, this is something else entirely. You got to pay if you want a bit of GTA 6 early in your GTA Online. There will be a trade price for this of $4 million, but when you're talking a trade price being $4 million, then yeah, it's 5.4 million or 4 million. It's expensive regardless of whatever you do. It is in the emergency vehicles class, so I want to say that the two emergency vehicles, the two new police cars, are actually the first DLC vehicles in the emergency vehicles class that we've ever had. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And yeah, I doubt you're going to be able to use this car in races, for example. It'll just be a free roam kind of machine, but you know, people have wanted cop cars for a while, and we're getting some of them. There's a lot of emergency class vehicles that we still don't have access to, but yeah, so the RCV, it was actually the first and possibly only, I think, DLC vehicle in the emergency vehicles class. Other stuff in the emergency class that we've been able to buy, like the fire truck or the lifeguard, for example, those are 2013 day one cars. They're not DLC cars. So I think the RCV is the only one specifically. So yeah, that is going to be the last thing that's released on Warstock, the website Warstock, possibly the last thing to be released in the entire drip feed. Maybe there'll be a GTA 6 tie-in with it or something like that, since it's clearly that car that we saw in the GTA 6 trailer. But yeah, you're gonna have to, if you want it, you're gonna have to start saving your money. And how useful it'll be in terms of, you know, you're probably not going to be able to use it in races or anything like that, because there's no emergency vehicle class that you can use for races, unless they add that down the line as well, which I've been asking them to do for a long time. But yeah, that's all your vehicles that you're going to be able to buy as part of the drip feed for the Chop Shop DLC. We'll show the back end of all these vehicles at the end of the video for those who like to see the backs of them. But there's something special, even more special than the Gauntlet Interceptor. And here it is. The Coca-Cola truck has made its way to GTA Online. Oh, we've even got snow added. The Project Homecoming guys are doing a great job with this. Happy holidays, the lights work. So this is a new trailer. It is a new version of the Phantom, but it is just a regular Phantom in terms of the name and all that kind of stuff. Now, you know, it's a completely new model for this, so it's not just a normal Phantom. It's not like the Phantom Custom that you have that's going to have a livery to be able to put on it. It is, all of this is a completely new model, and there's no associated price to it. It could be a Christmas gift that will be a Pegasus vehicle or something like that, but also the fact that, you know, the trailer aspect of it, the trailer is, you know, the trailer is a separate thing entirely. The trailer is in the utility class, the Phantom is in the commercial class. Maybe it's also just going to be a Christmas thing, like it'll just be driving on the highway when snow is activated in the game, and it might not be ownable by the player at all. And then once snow's gone, you know, the truck is gone. It might just be a special event for that. So it's impossible to say right now how this is going to be used, whether you'll be able to own it or not. But hey, it's a really cool addition, even if it's just a random event in free roam whilst the snow is on. What a really cool addition that is. And that is the big. I've been trying to hide it as we've been going through this this drip feed video. I might have shown a little bit of it in certain scenes, but yeah, I thought it makes a nice little ending to the video as a bit of an extra special final bit of content from this DLC. Again, it is technically in the drip feed, it's in the game files, but not available right now. We just don't know what you're going to be able to do with it. Will it be usable, or is it going to be just an event for Christmas? So yeah, on further investigation, it does seem like this Phantom might be the Phantom and trailer that was in the GTA 6 trailer at the very start on the bridge. So this again might be some GTA 6 goodness, but everyone's facing backwards for a reason, because it's time to look at the backs of these vehicles for those who like to see the rears of all these cars. First of all the day one cars, and then we'll see the drip feed vehicles as well, finishing up with that amazing Gauntlet Interceptor. Amazingly expensive as well. So yeah, all of the vehicles are on gtacars.net. You can check them all out. We'll be adding more info for them as time goes on, and obviously the lap times and top speeds, but you can filter by just the Chop Shop DLC and see all of these cars. I'll leave a link to that in the description so you can go straight to those cars on there. Like I said, the testing, the drift cars is going to be a little bit of a lower priority for the testing. I want to make sure to get the regular cars tested first. But I'm going to aim to test as much as I can. There's a lot of stuff to test as well, especially things like, you know, the new catch-up modes. There's about 5 new modes of catch-up that I need to test and figure out how that all works. But yeah, there's a lot of videos I'm going to make. It's genuinely been a really good DLC, this one, I think. It's been one of the better ones. There's a lot of quality of life updates that they've made. If you haven't seen my DLC showcase video, check it out. But a lot of things that they've actually fixed, and the creator's got an incredible amount of stuff in it as well. It's actually a really good DLC, and that's without all of the business stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I'll also leave all the patch notes, a link to that down below in the description if anyone wants to see that. And yeah, just keep an eye on the channel, because on the last DLC I made a video called Everything Wrong with the Mercenaries DLC. for this one, I might have to make a video saying everything right with the Chop Shop DLC, because they've made a lot of significant improvements. Maybe it's too little too late at this stage of GTA, but yeah, it's really good stuff. So yeah, like I said, a lot to cover, a lot to test. The new cars are on GTAcars.net. My priority is testing the new cars first of all, so keep an eye out for the testing video for those, and then I'll just be covering as much as I can about it. Thanks everybody on Project Homecoming as well for sorting out these cars. Thanks to Andrew and Phil and Igor for sorting the cars on GTAcars.net as quickly as possible. Thank you to all of you for watching and supporting the channel, and yes, stay tuned. We've got a lot to go. We've got a lot to cover on this one. Thank you guys very much. We came on Project Homecoming almost an hour ago, I think. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Oh, they've gone crazy. Oh god, it's scary. Oh no. Oh, this is what happens afterwards. This is the outtakes. This is the outtakes. This is straight in the outtakes. Damn. It just... This is all this pent-up aggression that they've had to, you know... That's for ruining my showcase yesterday. Damn. Oh, the cargo plane's here now as well. It's all gone ridiculous. Oh my god, absolute carnage. And now, yeah, this is the GTA. This is the GTA we all know.